If you want to stop spending money, you need to train your brain to stop spending money. Your brain is powerful. It houses something called dopamine. And dopamine is a powerful drug that has the ability to control your life. What is dopamine and how does it work? Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that plays a huge role in reward and in pleasure. It is released in the brain in response to a pleasurable experience. So for example, you eat sushi, you love it. Dopamine is released. You had sex, it was great. Dopamine is released. You bought tickets to Coachella, you're excited. Dopamine is released. Anytime you make any purchases, especially impulsive one, your brain releases dopamine. And dopamine is like a silent but dangerous drug. You can't see it and you can't smell it, but you can release it in your brain without ever having to spend any money. And dopamine gives you a temporary feeling of pleasure or satisfaction without having to shoot up heroin or cocaine. And with this release of dopamine, your brain creates something called a positive feedback loop. This means your brain wants to seek a more pleasurable experience in order to get more of that delicious dopamine. So this is where we cue in the dopamine addiction. Now your brain wants more sushi, more sex, and more concert tickets. And this is how overspending becomes a problem. Because your brain wants to chase that high, that feeling of pleasure you get from making these purchases. And in order to trick your brain into stop spending money, you need to control dopamine's role in your life. Well, how do you do that? You create a better habit. And if you haven't already read Atomic Habits from James Clear, you're in luck because I'm going to give you the short form version today. This entire book is centered on creating habits. Habits are behavior that are repeated regularly and they occur automatically. You wake up, you pee. Habit. You put in your socks, then your shoes. In that order. Habit. And the more you repeat these behaviors, the more automatic it becomes. Now, these habits are often unconscious and you can have both good habits and bad habits. Good habits are the ones that are beneficial and helps you achieve your goals, like going to the gym 4 times a week. And bad habits are the ones that have a negative effect on your life, like overspending, spending too much money or money you don't have. And overspending has a negative impact on pretty much everything because this habit compounds over time and it leads to more financial problems down the road. So let's create better habits to help you stop spending money. In order to trick your brain into doing something you wanted to do or not do, you have to manipulate the behavior itself. Make that desired behavior easier to do. And there are 4 ways you can do that. You make it visible, make it attractive, make it easy, and you make it satisfying. And in our example, we want to trick our brain to stop spending money. First, we make it visible. Every day at the same time, maybe when you wake up in the morning, open your bank account and your credit card accounts and review those transactions. See where you're spending your money. This habit will serve as a reminder to yourself to be financially aware of your money. And by doing this repeatedly, you will know how much money is coming in to your account and how much money is going out. It's that simple. This simply serves as a reminder, a friendly reminder that you might not have any money to spend and you might be poorer than you think because those numbers, they don't lie. Another strategy, post visual reminders of your financial goals all over your house and every single quarter because you pay for that quarter. Make a vision board of the person you want to become in 5 or 10 years and post that vision board on your desk or on the main screen of your phone. When and if you're tempted to make an unnecessary purchase, look at that vision board photo and determine if that item that you want to spend money on, does that align with your vision board goals? This can help make you be more mindful and intentional with your spending habits. And another trick really is to make it not visible. Apps like Amazon or Instagram or any app that you might use to make impulsive purchases will just delete those apps or at least limit your consumption on those apps. Give yourself a window into when and how long you want to open your Facebook app or your Amazon app. Because what I realized was the minute I canceled my Amazon subscription, I reduced my household expenses by 15%. 15%, which means I was no longer spending money on items I didn't need. And if I needed those items, I just had to wait 3 to 5 days until my next grocery or Target run. And by the time I was there, I actually forgot about those items because it really wasn't that important. Now, let's make it easy. Make it easy for you not to spend that hard-earned money. Train your brain to stick to a budget. Creating a budget is the best way to avoid overspending. You want to create a budget that outlines your income and all of your expenses, and this can help you see where your money is going and identify areas where you may be able to cut back on your expenses. And if you find that budgeting is really difficult, it's too hard, then make it easy. Find online apps like You Need a Budget, Mint, or Every Dollar. These apps can all link to your bank account to keep track of your expenses, and they can do it for you automatically. It updates every single day for you. It's easy. And speaking of automation, you want to use autopay to pay your bills on time every month, which is one less thing that your brain has to do, one less thing your brain has to think of doing. And the best part of having a budget, it eliminates decision fatigue because a budget provides a clear framework for making spending decisions. When you have a budget, you already made the decision the first of the month on how you would allocate your money, how you will spend your money. So you don't have to constantly think about what you can or cannot buy. There's no, can I afford this? No, you don't have to ever think about that because you've already assigned a job to every dollar when you created that budget early on in the month. So this really helps reduce the mental effort required to make big financial decisions, and it can make it easier for you to stick to your spending plan. Now, let's make it attractive. Identify the benefits of not spending money. That's right, not spending money. Focus on the benefits of saving and investing money rather than the sacrifices of not spending. So instead of thinking of not spending money as a restriction, think of it as a means to an end. Whether that end is a down payment on a house, a dream vacation, or for you, it might be early retirement. So instead of saying, oh, I can't go to brunch with my friends this weekend, this budget is so restricting, you reframe your thoughts and you say, I'm choosing to skip brunch with my friends this weekend so I can prioritize my future goals. I'm setting up future me for a better life. So when you think of it that way, you are able to see what life will be for you in the long run, the big picture. And if you have that vision board, you know exactly what your future life looks like. So every decision you make right now will impact future you. So then let's review what are some of the benefits of not overspending. How can you make this more attractive for yourself? Well, for starters, financial security, that's pretty damn attractive. By not overspending, you can reduce your debt and you can build wealth faster. This gives you more freedom and more control over your future. You're setting up future you to have a nice, comfortable, cushy life without having to worry about money. And by not overspending, you have the ability to save for your future goals. You can invest more money into whatever it is that you want. Maybe again, early retirement, or some people just want FU money. FU money is pretty much a superpower where you can walk up to your employer and say, FU, I quit. This job, this role is not serving you. And that gives you power. Power to control your life. Power to do what you want when you want in your life. And that to me is pretty damn attractive. So really, the point here is to almost romanticize this idea, this new love, this new habit you're creating. You're bringing positivity into your life by focusing on the benefits, and you're eliminating all those negative thoughts, those negative habits, those negative mindsets that won't serve you in the future. Now, let's make it satisfying. Treat yourself. Whenever you hit a huge financial milestone, give yourself that dopamine rush. And your reward doesn't have to be a big, extravagant purchase. It can be as simple as giving yourself a mental health day. That's what I do. I have a husband, I have 2 kids, and they're crazy. So I like to spend my days alone. I go for a walk alone, I might get a massage alone, or I'll do something fun with my girlfriend. And this really is just a way for me to decompress. And when I decompress, I feel good because I'm doing nothing strenuous on my brain. So I'm feeding my brain exactly what it wants. I'm giving my brain dopamine. So it trains my brain to think financial goal, check. Milestone, check. Massage, yay. Solo day without kids, even more yay. And that dopamine rush rewards me for exactly what I'm doing. But the difference now is I've trained my brain to give me that dopamine rush when I want it. It's no longer mindless, it's an intentional positive loop. And that in itself is very powerful. So now that we discussed the 4 methods to make your habit more desirable, let's talk about how to break a bad habit. Let's say you already established a poor habit of overspending? Well, what should you do? How can you untrain your brain to not repeat those poor habits? Well, let me introduce you to the habit loop. The habit loop is a 3-step process that underlies all habits: the cue, the behavior, and the reward. And the cue is a trigger that prompts you to take a certain action. And the behavior is the action itself, and the reward is the positive outcome you experience as a result of that behavior. So here is an example of a habit loop. So the cue, it's 8 p.m. You've had a long day at work. Behavior, you mindlessly scroll through Instagram. Reward, you buy something that your favorite influencer recommended. Maybe it's a new cleanser or a new sports bra. And after that purchase, you suddenly get a burst of excitement. You feel good. You feel satisfied because now you've just satisfied your need for instant gratification. So life is good. So in this example, the cue, it's 8 p.m. in the evening, triggers the behavior. The behavior is mindlessly scrolling Instagram, which then leads to reward, which is buying something you don't need. Now, over time, this habit loop becomes automatic and you find yourself scrolling Instagram every day around the same time without even thinking about it. It's a habit. You develop the habit. And this happens far more often than you think. Think of all those Amazon purchases. How many times did you receive an item on your doorstep and you're like, oh, I totally forgot I bought this. So to change this behavior, this bad behavior, you have to identify the cue, the reward, and then experiment with different behaviors to see which one works best for you. So you might want to replace scrolling on Instagram with reading a book at 8 p.m. Or maybe you want to pack your lunch for the next day instead. And if you do one of these habits, you do it every day for 3 weeks, you're replacing that poor habit. So basically you're telling yourself that you are not allowed to go on Instagram from the hours of 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., which is probably your prime spending hours. So what else can you do? You can block the app, you can even delete the app, or whatever, you do something. So you focus your energy on doing something that will create a different habit to replace your habit. And if you do this repeatedly for 3 to 6 weeks, you will break that habit that caused you to spend too much money. And the key here is really to experiment with different behaviors and find a reward that works for you. And when you do this well, you really can change the habit loop and create healthier, newer habits. So now that you know how to trick your brain into not spending money and how to create better habits by using the habit loop, let's take it one step further. Let's upgrade your money mindset. Watch this video here and you will learn how to replace a scarcity mindset with an abundance mindset, which means you're gonna go from a mindset poor to mindset rich. If you are here at the end of the video, please comment below. Let me know what you think of this video. I'm trying different things with my YouTube channel and I wanna see if you like these kind of book reviews where I kind of talk more about a book and what I've learned from it. If it does resonate with you, please let me know. And if you haven't already, please subscribe below and I will see you in the next one. And guys, I'm gonna quickly interrupt my video to let you know that I have a free download for you below. It's called the 10 most common financial mistakes that keep you poor. It's a really quick read and I wish I had this document when I got serious about my financial independence journey. So click the link below in the description box to download it. And if you haven't already done so, I'm here to remind you to subscribe to my channel so that we keep bringing you all this money and medicine content.